Welcome to the Dave Nordhall Show. Ah, yes. Welcome to the Dave Nordhall Show. Oh, damn it all to hell. I forgot to change the shit here. And hold on. Gordon Ramsay Hotel. Where are they now? Alright. Save. That should be fine. Alright. This was
Gordon Ramsay has
This was a visitor request, so or it was a paid request. I just didn't feel like dealing with it on my main channel because I have 2 copyright strikes. If I didn't, I would have done it on my main channel. Although in the future, the Dave Nordhall Show is going to become more prominent. I don't know what I'm going to do with Lord of Patriarchy, whether I'm going to do just more videos on that or if I'm going to do like a edited video or something, but anyway. So I guess let's get into this.
He has had quite a few TV shows over the length of his career. The 2 that I think are the most...
All right, I got to get another beer. I'm thirsty. I'm thirsty, man.
most well-known based on conversations I've had with people are Hell's Kitchen and Kitchen Nightmares.
By the way, I'm starting to liquidate my game collection, so if you go on eBay and search my name, you'll find me. I only got 2 listings now, but like I said, I'm starting to liquidate the game collection, and I think when I get down to it, a couple of people have asked me to do a painting show, so I think I might do that.
Hell's Kitchen is basically a competition where chefs have to perform under extreme pressure, and whoever wins gets a job in one of Gordon's restaurants. Kitchen Nightmares is a show where...
Well, that's actually not true. Sometimes it's a job in another restaurant, not just Gordon's.
Gordon finds a failing restaurant, spends around a week with them, tries to identify the problems that are causing them to lose money, and hopefully makes their business profitable. But the show does have a lot of cliches that are pretty much a staple of American reality TV. Lots of stinger sound effects when someone says something confrontational, overly dramatic music throughout, and a relatively predictable narrative throughout each episode. Gordon comes in, confronts the owners, they get mad, Gordon convinces them to make changes, and they have some degree of success after the changes are made. I'm not saying there's no deviation from that formula, but that's about 99% of the episodes. But honestly, despite that, I really like the show. I've seen every single episode. It's pretty entertaining, and I find it kind of fascinating to see what goes on behind the scenes in the restaurant world. But that's not what this episode is about. This episode is about another Gordon Ramsay show called Hotel Hell. If I'm being honest, Hotel Hell is really just an extension of Kitchen Nightmares with a slight twist. Kitchen Nightmares aired from 2004 to 2007, if you don't count some of the extra episodes they did, and Hotel Hell aired starting in 2014, 7 years later. Like I said, the formula of the show is pretty much the same, except that Gordon is now trying to help a hotel instead of a restaurant. But the hotels do have kitchens, and much of the focus of the episodes is on the quality of the food and how the kitchen is run.
Well, I mean, I'm sorry, but it's a hotel. How hard is it to tell people to keep the fucking room clean?
so not too dissimilar from Kitchen Nightmares, but that's fine by me. The thing I sometimes wonder about with shows like this is what happens to these businesses and the people from the episodes after the show airs? Are they even still open? It's been nearly 5 years since Hotel Hell aired its final episode, and I'm really curious which of the hotels...
Oh, Jesus, it has been? It's been 5 fucking years? Oh, my God. I'm feeling fucking old, man. Yet the Vikings playing on Sunday feels like 10 years ago.
Has survived up until this point. One episode in particular had me wondering this because it stuck out in my mind. It's actually the very first episode from the very first season, and in my opinion, it had one of the more memorable hotel owners from the show. Let me give you a quick recap of the episode before we take a look at what's happened to the hotel up until this point. The hotel from this episode is the Juniper Hill Inn in Windsor, Vermont. It's literally a mansion in a very picturesque part of Vermont. Upon arriving, Gordon is confused about how this hotel isn't filling rooms every night given how nice it appears. We are then introduced to the owners, Ari Niki and his boyfriend Robert Dean II, but Robert seems to be the real owner while Ari just acts as a kind of manager for the staff. Honestly, Robert comes off as a complete asshat in this episode. Obviously, I don't know the guy.
Yeah, he does come off like a complete asshat because he's completely arrogant with his staff, and also he has a false belief in himself that he knows how to buy antiques, yet most of what he's bought are fucking fakes. They're reproductions.
Maybe the camera just made him look much less flattering than he is, but it's kind of hard for me to imagine that given what happens in the episode. First impressions of the hotel aren't great. Gordon compliments how nice his room looks, but complains about a horrible smell, only to be told that they had a plumbing issue a while ago. After getting moved to another room, he goes down to the kitchen to try their food out. He discovers that there are no prices on his menu, and on asking the staff to tell him how much it is, he learns it's going to cost $74 for 3 courses. To make matters worse, he absolutely rips the food to shreds, and when they bring out the dessert portion, it's only half of a small cake, which he also complains about given the price of the meal. Pretty much everything about the hotel seems...
You're going to charge people $75. It better be the best meal of their fucking lives.
...to be overpriced, and it also seems to underdeliver. The shit-smelling room that Gordon complained about costs $350 a night, and there's a 2-night minimum, which totals $700 to stay at this hotel. When Gordon asks how a local off the street is supposed to afford $74 for a meal, Robert responds with, "We haven't identified the appropriate people to come here." And he also says they won't even let people eat at the hotel restaurant unless they are already renting a room, despite being desperate for cash, which really seems to annoy Gordon. Again,
Yeah, again. Your restaurant should be open to everyone. Maybe give preferential treatment to the guests of your hotel, like maybe section it off, 2 sections, something like that. But if you're going to charge people $75 for a 3 or 4 course meal, it better be good.
I'm being too harsh on the guy, but Robert really comes across as this snobby, wannabe rich guy throughout the whole episode. And maybe I'm reading too much into it, but given how humble Gordon Ramsay's beginnings were and how hard he had to work to get where he is, I'd imagine that probably played into making Gordon not like him. But it gets worse. Gordon learns from the staff that they are frequently paid late or not at all, and what they are paid is shockingly low by most people's standards. The head chef reveals that he's making only $400 a week, which if we assume a 5-day work week and 8-hour days, he's making about $10 an hour. On top of that,
I will say this, though. Chefs are routinely paid not that much.
Robert has also apparently been taking staff tips to pay for things the hotel needs. But it gets worse still, because it's also revealed that Robert and his boyfriend are living on the premises in a really fancy RV that costs $100,000, while not paying his employees properly. One part that made me laugh was when Gordon refers to his mobile home as an RV.
You're 3 years away from 50, you should not be living in an RV.
Oh, we don't. Live live in an RV. It is a motor coach, which is the higher end version of an RV.
Gordon points out everything wrong with the food, the hotel, the prices, and the fact that the employees aren't getting paid, but Robert always just blames one of his employees or tries to justify what he does without taking responsibility. At several points in the episode, when confronted by his employees about the payment issues, he responds with something along the lines of, "You don't have to work here."
I don't know. That's what I would do. I just live in a room in the hotel.
Which especially seemed to piss Gordon off. Oh, one other thing I forgot to mention is that Robert was also keeping several pigs as pets and paying for their food and upkeep despite apparently not being able to pay his employees. As far as the price...
Why would you pay for pigs?
...to the hotel goes, the area didn't really seem like an upscale area, so it's kind of confusing as to why Robert was hell-bent on asking such exorbitant prices. Gordon even asked a local her opinion, and she said she wouldn't go there because it felt too snobby. It really just seems like Robert wants to be the king of a fancy, expensive hotel and not have to mingle with the common folk at all. After Gordon witnesses a horrendous dinner service, he has everyone come together for a meeting. This is pretty much a staple of these shows. During this meeting, Gordon absolutely rips Robert to shreds for all the shit he's been doing to his staff, and in one of the funniest parts of the episode, Robert tries to interrupt Gordon to make an excuse, and Gordon just loses his shit.
It's not all about you, Robert. Robert's world, Robert's bubble, Robert's dream. You're not the Lord of the Manor, and you're not the Great Gatsby. You're Robert. There's only me in here.
Excuse me.
Go on then, you pompous fuck.
Excuse me. Don't talk to me like that.
What's wrong with it?
But after this tense standoff moment, Gordon decides that in order to generate some revenue to keep the hotel afloat, Robert's massive antique collection that he says is worth $300,000 total needs to be sold. So
Yeah, except Robert is an idiot when it comes to antiques and doesn't know how to spot the real thing from a fake.
Gordon brings in an expert to appraise the antique collection, but he gets some unfortunate news about it.
What you have here doesn't read as a collection to me. It's kind of an accumulation. A lot of copies of things.
Say that again?
25,000?
$25,000. All this. And the painting?
The painting is a copy, and not a good one, I'm afraid.
Robert, I thought you...
And that's the other thing. He fell for shit. He fell for shit. Not even good copies.
You said it was expensive, 18th century.
Well, it's dated. I dated 17th.
It is, but it's not actually of that period at all.
Even all this amazing silverware.
I put $100 on everything on this table.
$100? What about this?
First period, this is Sheffield.
Yeah, it's plate.
What about this?
This was probably the best.
Yeah, this woman really knocked this guy's balls out of his fucking... Yeah. Because, well, this is Sheffield. Yeah, but it's plated. It's not Sheffield. It's not what you think it is.
Best part of the whole episode. I'm not sure what it is exactly, but there's something really funny about the way she just says, I put $100 on everything on this table, as if she's getting ready to set up a yard sale or something. I guess because we finally see Robert's ego get deflated a little bit when he finds out his prized antique collection is mostly junk. I'm by no means an antique expert, but I feel like I've seen most of the stuff Robert has in his supposedly expensive collection in the back of a Ross store.
I've probably seen it in the back of a local antique store, but yeah, there was nothing special in his collection.
But in classic Kitchen Nightmares fashion, Gordon gets Robert to apologize to his staff, retrains the head chef, gives them a new menu, and invites some locals to come and give the restaurant another shot. Robert even pays his estate manager in advance.
First episode of Kitchen Nightmares ever. It was filmed in the UK. Gordon thought the food would be horrible. He ate every damn bite of it.
With $100 extra to make up for all the shit he'd done. In the second half of the episode, it seems like Robert has turned over a new leaf, but honestly, it kind of looks like he's struggling a little bit to do so. And the episode ends on a happy note with everybody upbeat. Now, I don't know if I'm realistic or just a cynical asshole, but In my experience, you can't really change someone's whole character in just 1 week. So what happened to the hotel? Is it still open? What are Ari and Robert up to these days? The first bit of info I came across was an article from a website called realitytvrevisited.com. But let me preface this by saying that I wasn't able to confirm all of the claims made in this article, and there are pretty much no sources anywhere. So take all of this with a grain of salt. The article claims that most of the staff from the episode of Hotel Hell were no longer working there by the time it aired, including the chef. It also claims that the hotel was bought by Ken Lucci and later reopened as the Windsor Mansion Inn. But by far the most interesting claim in the article is that Ari, the boyfriend of the main owner Robert, was arrested for assaulting a police officer in 2015. But it doesn't give any more info or sources on that. So obviously I had to know more info about all this and try to confirm whether any of it was true. So let's start with the fate of the hotel building itself. The episode of Hotel Hell aired on August 13, 2012, according to Wikipedia. On August 25, 2012, the Juniper Inn Facebook page made a post regarding the episode of Hotel Hell and their current situation.
Oh, shit, yeah. I remember that.
Basically, they said that thanks to the show's high ratings, their phone lines were ringing off the hook, and they thanked Gordon Ramsay for the impact he had on them. But they were a little bit critical of the show when they wrote, "We appreciate the outpouring of support from our guests, employees, neighbors, and friends, and are glad people looked at it, for the most part anyways, for what it was, reality television entertainment." And it's signed Robert and Ari, and that's the last post on that Facebook page. The next piece of evidence is an article from the Rutland Herald from April 3rd, 2013. The article confirms that Robert and Ari are still in possession of the hotel and that it is still open. But besides that, things are not looking so good for the Jupiter Hill Inn. Robert owes around $1.1 million to the bank in addition to other debts, and he's apparently 6 months behind on his mortgage. In a quote, Robert blamed the hotel's misfortune on a bad economy and Ari's bad health. Robert had this to say about the episode of Hotel Hell. "The whole thing was presented to us that they were there to help. I will fight until my dying day that we are not the people portrayed on that show." Despite the hotel's seemingly imminent demise, Robert remained mostly optimistic and said he planned to continue trying to save the hotel. The next bit of evidence we have is another article from the Rutland Herald from July 25th.
Dude, it's over. It's over.
2013, just 3 months after the previous article. This article says that the Juniper Hill Inn is going to be put up for a tax auction on August 9th if they don't pay what they owe by that time, which according to the article is around $120,000 in taxes, $1.2 million to their mortgage holder, and even more because they had several liens filed against them by electricians and mechanics. The article also has a quote from someone speculating that what will probably happen is that the bank that Robert owes money to would step in and pay the taxes to prevent it from being sold for cheap, while at the same time foreclosing on it. Basically, the bank would clean up the mess, but they would take away the hotel from Robert and Ari at the same time. Honestly, this isn't that surprising to me. The challenges facing the hotel were astronomical. I didn't really think that getting Gordon Ramsay's help for 1 week could fix it at that point, but obviously I don't really blame Gordon for that. The next thing I found is an article from a news outlet called Enterprise. The article was published on November 22nd, 2015. It says that the inn did end up going to auction and being foreclosed on by the bank. The bank then resold the hotel through a company called Sotheby's International Realty. Eventually, the hotel ended up in the hands of Ken Lucci and his sister Brenda Bradley. They paid only $400,000 for it, which is extremely cheap considering
Jesus Christ! That is extremely cheap for anything that size. I pay $400,000 for something like that. It's my home. Actually, I can show you Gordon Ramsay's biggest failure if you like. I still can't pronounce your name. Slavaslog, Slabsog, Syagog, whatever. I'll show you Gordon Ramsay's biggest failure. This is where Gordon Ramsay really fucks it all up. After this video, of course. I want to make sure. Gordon Ramsay. And what's amazing is this was a video. This wasn't like Gordon Ramsay cooking
today
live.
to change your mood.
He picked some
Me,
wrong
30
ingredients. He
minutes
fucks
ago,
it all up.
I've taken this.
This was a video that he could have just said, hold on, stop, I need to restart. Anyway, but if I bought the Juniper Hill Inn, I would have just, for that amount of money, I would have just been like, fuck it, it's my personal home.
It cost Robert Dean $1.6 million back in 2005. Lastly, the article says that Lucci has big plans to renovate the hotel and make it into a successful business.
What are you doing today to change your mood? Me? 30 minutes ago? I've taken this
Our final article is from Valley News on March 23, 2019. This article explains that Lucci did reopen the Juniper Hill Inn, but under a different name. He changed the name to the Windsor Mansion Inn. Then things take a wild turn. Lucci was arrested and pled guilty to stalking 2 employees and firing a bullet into one of their vehicles. He was sentenced to serve 90 days in jail. What is it with this hotel and having horrible bosses? Following the arrest of Lucci, the hotel ended up in the hands of Brenda Bradley and her husband James. Honestly, the way this article was written was a little bit confusing to me, but from what I gather, at the time of writing it, the Windsor Mansion is up for sale again, and there's a prospective buyer. That buyer is speculated to be a company called HHK Hospitality, but the sale hasn't gone through yet.
Alright, I need to know, when was this video made? Okay, a year ago. Okay.
I was actually able to find a Zillow listing for the property, and it confirms most of what I found in these articles, but it does have some gaps. We can see though that on July 7, 2020, the hotel went up for sale and was then removed from the market on February 10th of 2021. It's not entirely clear to me whether the property was actually sold or not, but I assume it wasn't because if you look at the $400,000 sale that I mentioned earlier, it says sold instead of listing removed. And that's about all we know for sure about the ownership of the hotel up until this point. It is, however, open for business as evidenced by this TripAdvisor listing. This room costs $139 a night, and the reviews for the hotel are pretty good, as you can see. So now that we've talked about the actual building, let's talk about the owners and staff from when the episode originally aired. As far as the original owners go, there's pretty much no solid information on them. I found some things here and there, but it's not solid enough to definitely say it's them. I found a LinkedIn page listed under the name Ari Niki. As you can see, the college he went to is in Helsinki, Finland, and in the Hotel Hell episode, Robert mentioned that Ari was Finnish. He also has the company UPM Kaimene listed as his last work experience, which is a Finnish company that also does business in North America. If this really is his account, then that might explain how he ended up in the United States and got involved with Robert. It also says that he left the company in 2008, and that would more or less line up with the timeline of events because he and Robert bought the hotel in 2005. Another interesting fact is that the location says Palm Beach, Florida. Remember that for later, but ultimately we really have no concrete proof that this is really his account. It's not very hard at all to fake a LinkedIn account. I also found a LinkedIn for Robert Dean that has manager of Juniper Hill Inn listed for his previous experience, but again, we have no way of knowing if it's really him or not. I also found some Facebook and Twitter accounts with their names or similar names, but again, there's really no way to determine if they're real. So now let's talk about the claim that Ari was arrested in 2015 for assaulting an officer. The only thing I could find regarding this was a Reddit post with this mugshot and a link to a website called arrestfacts.com. If you click on the link, it takes you to a page with the mugshot and some basic information about the arrest. I've never heard of arrestfacts.com, so I really can't attest to its trustworthiness, but I wasn't able to find anything else about this arrest through Google searches, which makes me doubt its authenticity. One thing that could possibly lend some credibility, though, is that the arrest was supposedly made in Florida, which, if that LinkedIn profile really was Ari, it might make sense. Or it could just mean that someone else found the same info I did and wanted to make it look convincing. What little I did find about the supposed arrest of Ari either had no sources or linked back to the same arrestfacts.com page, which makes me think that whoever wrote that realitytv.com article probably just saw that mugshot and took it as gospel. And that's pretty much all the info we have on the owners to date. It seems like they pretty much just disappeared off the face of the internet. And honestly, I don't really blame them. While we don't really know how accurate it was, they were definitely not shown in a good light in the episode. And while doing research for this video, I saw that to this day there are still people going to their old accounts and blasting them for what they did to their staff. There is one person from the show that I was able to find at least a little bit of info on though, Chef Julian Jones. That unverified article from Reality TV Revisited claimed that he left the Juniper Hill Inn by the time the episode had aired. I managed to find his LinkedIn, and he does in fact have Juniper Hill Inn listed as experience up until 2012, which seems to confirm what the article said. Then it looks like from 2015 to the present, he became the executive chef of a Hollywood restaurant called Soul Hollywood. But that's actually partly incorrect, as we'll see in a minute. I managed to track down an interview he did on YouTube in 2017 with a woman that I presume to be the owner of the restaurant. I can't find any more recent proof of him working at Seoul Hollywood, but as of 2020 on Google Maps, you can see that the restaurant is boarded up and there's a for lease sign in the window, pretty much confirming that they are no longer in business. So he's definitely not working there now. And that's everything we know about the previous staff of the Juniper Hill Inn. One of the things I really wanted to know is if all the employees
Oh, damn. I wanted to know if the cute girl was on OnlyFans.
were really replaced by the time the episode of Hotel Hell actually aired. Did they quit? Were they fired? Did Robert go right back to being an asshole once the cameras were gone and caused them to leave? Or maybe given the hotel's financial problems, he still couldn't afford to pay them and they got fed up and left because of that? I wish I knew where this reality
I will say this. I don't know why people continue to work at a place that they're not getting paid. I've always had a rule. You want me to work for you, you pay me. You don't, I'm not coming in. And I'm going to consider myself laid off.
TV.com website got that info from so I could try and
Fuck. All right, I got to pee. I'll be right back. And I can't show the lesbians. Oh, wait. Yes, I can. I'm on YouTube. Usually I'm on Twitch when I'm on this. And now, everything must suck. Because you're back at me. Just me.
and verify it, but oh well. If anybody has any other info about any of this, then please let me know and I might do a follow-up episode. Well, I guess that's going to do it for this video. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. All of the sources I used are going to be linked down below in the description of the video. If you liked the video, please consider liking and subscribing.
I don't remember. I didn't really watch Hotel Hell all that much. This is when I was starting to get a little burnout on Gordon Ramsay and shit like this. But alright, you want to see where Gordon Ramsay absolutely fails? Here's Gordon Ramsay's grilled cheese. Now I remind you, this is a video! Okay? This is a video! Where he could have edited it down, changed the cheeses, done something else. But nope, he's going forward. By the way, I would just like to point out, this is the probably most downvoted video of Gordon Ramsay's. Keep in mind, it's a grilled fucking cheese. It's a grilled cheese.
Now, we all love grilled cheese. I grew up with it. That was cheese on toast. But there's something quite amazing for a grilled cheese, especially when you have these incredible cheeses. A Romano with pepperberry.
Okay. Here's the problem number one. You're using dry cheese. When you're making a grilled cheese, you can use a dried cheese. I'm not saying you can't. But you need a wet cheese. Preferably grilled cheese is all wet cheese, but fuck it. You want to use a dried cheese? Fine. But you flake it. Or you grate it so it can melt. But watch what he does.
And
already he's fucking up.
Asiago. Beautiful. I mean, really beautiful. To do the...
Again, I love Asiago. But I grate it over my pizza. I don't put chunks.
Ultimate grilled cheese with this is a dream come true. So I'm going to just cut nice big long slices so I can take off the rind easily. Okay, and those pepper berries is going to make the cheese a little bit spicy. Look at that there.
Again, you're using a dry cheese. Unless you're planning to heat that up a little bit, you're going to have a problem.
I mean, so beautiful.
Actually, yes, I have. In fact, my video on, actually, my Lord of Patriarchy channel was a pizza I made from scratch.
And then with the Asiago again down and literally cut off.
In fact, now I want to go make my own pizza from scratch.
The rind. And then from there, get the slice and just go in half again. So you've got these nice, long, luscious, almost like sort of mini...
Oh my God, you're using fucking...
bricks of cheese. And look at that. And that pepperberry is incredible. Now the bread. The secret behind a great grilled cheese is to make sure the bread is not too thin.
No, you want slightly on the thinner side. I'm not saying like paper thin or razor thin, but kind of on the thinner side, about a standard size, you know, maybe a quarter of an inch or a half an inch slice of bread, you know, like standard half an inch, maybe 3/4 of an inch.
Look at that. The beautiful, locally baked country bread.
Okay, that's like inch slices. You're not going to get enough heat in through the bread to melt the cheese.
Now, from there, a little bit of butter.
It was a red pizza. I got to make a white pizza. I'm starting to get into pizza making.
Okay, and always butter heavily on the outside. You'll see why, especially when you get that nice, crispy texture. Again, cover it with butter. Okay. I want to season the outside with some salt.
The butter's already salted, sweetheart. And you have a fucking deli slicer there! Dude, what the fuck?
And then from there, layer your cheese and sort of almost tailor make it in a way that it becomes somewhat almost fitted to the bread. And the secret behind this grilled cheese is a little bit of kimchi, homemade kimchi, which is going to give a nice spicy texture to that incredible cheese. Now, the acidity in this kimchi is incredible. But once it's been cooked, breathtaking. Fold that over, and then from there, push.
Actually, not to be a dick. Actually, fuck it, I don't care. Why would you flip the other bread over? . 'Cause you literally just assembled a sandwich. Honestly, the way I would have done this is kept the bottom slice totally unbuttered and naked, cheese, meat, or kimchi, whatever, cheese, butter the top thing, bring it over to the pan, slam that sumbitch in there, and then butter the previously bottom side. But I mean, well, fuck it, you've already got a goddamn slice of bread that's an inch thick.
Push that down. We're going to stick that in the oven. Look, a beautiful fireplace over there.
Look, I'm somebody who knows probably far more about grilling than Gordon Ramsay. I do not grill over live fire. Okay, or it's embers. Live fire is way too unpredictable with heat.
Nice and warm. Touch of olive oil in. Beautiful. And then from there, get the temperature up. Just lightly. Starting to smoke. Rest on the side. Push.
Like, I don't know if he's in somebody's house or what. But you literally have 2 inches or 3 inches of bread here. And again, this is a video. Okay? Gordon could have said at any time, just don't fucking post this. Or said, hold up, I fucked it up. Sorry, guys.
Push that down. Nice. Lift up. And in she goes.
Let me find out if he did. Oh, you've got to be kidding. You have got to be fucking kidding me if he did it with this.
Nice and warm. Touch of olive oil in.
Touch of olive oil. You put a cast iron pan directly under the raging coals of a wood fire. Not the embers, the raging coals, and you're adding olive oil, which is gonna turn more bitter than fucking Katie Porter's cunt.
Beautiful. And then from there, get the temperature up. Just lightly. Starting to smoke. Rest on the side. Push that down. Nice.
Yeah, no shit, it starts to smoke in 2 seconds.
Lift up.
I'm sorry, that's 2 inches of bread, if not more. I would say that sandwich is maybe 3 inches high. And you only have one little thin layer of cheese in between. But here's the thing, I've seen the end of the video. The cheese isn't even fucking melted.
And in she goes. Now, as she cooks, start putting some weight on there.
Honestly, if it was my video and I had to cook something in somebody's fireplace, I'd be like, okay, let's wait till everybody calms down. You know, we're all kind of relaxing. Tell you what, I'll make some grilled cheeses and I'll put a great big pan in and make a couple grilled cheese. I'm doing it over the dying embers. Not while there's fire right next to me. Gee, why, Dave? Oh, jeez, I don't know, because I don't want the fucking bread to goddamn burn. Oh, my God. God in heaven, suck my ass and lick my dick.
Just pushing it down.
Well, that's the other thing. Normally, if I did that, it'd just be on a flat top. I'll just bring out an electric flat top and yada, yada, yada. Not a problem. Or throw a big-ass cast iron flat top on the fire. This bottom is burnt as...
Turn that over.
And it's burnt as hell! Gordon, would you accept that at your fucking restaurants? No, you wouldn't.
Push that down. That way it gets nice and crispy. Beautiful.
By the way, this is a video, not a live stream. Not a live stream where Gordon says, well, I fucked this up. This is a video. He has to stand by there.
2 minutes each side. And then once you've coloured both sides, back out.
You didn't color one side. You burnt it to fuck.
And just place your spatula on top and push down. And that helps to get the cheese nicely melted. That is incredible. The kimchi.
If it's 2 minutes aside and it's already done the 2 minutes, why the fuck is it going in if you pressed it down? You know goddamn well that cheese hasn't fucking melted at all. You know goddamn well it hasn't. And now you're rushing up against... the bread is burning.
With that incredible cheese, especially with that pepperberry, it's just going to be a wonderful combination. And also, it just helps elevate the flavour of that beautiful grilled cheese. Take that out, turn that over, and look, it's cracking away.
All right, I'm not going to take away anything from that side. I will say that is fine.
Beautiful. The cheese is melted. And this, yeah, how crispy that is.
It's just some cheese between two thick pieces. It's not a sandwich.
Beautiful.
It's just some cheese between two thick pieces of toast.
Look at that.
And the cheese is still solid. It's not even melted. I don't know what your version of grilled cheese is, but mine is, it ain't this.
Oh my goodness me. It's nice.
And again, you had the option to just not put this up, and you did. I will say, this is Gordon Ramsay's biggest fuck up. Again, you have to understand what cheeses melt and what cheeses don't. Any hard cheese, I'm not using in anything that requires the cocksucker to melt unless it's finely grated. This is not a grilled cheese. It's hard cheese between two pieces of toast. That's it. And all right, I got some other shit I want to do. So, good on everybody. I'll see everyone tomorrow. All right, hold on.
Oh my god.
Actually, I know he does. He doesn't have a choice.
It's too real.
This is why I don't taste my own food when I do my cooking show. It's a lie. Again, Gordon Ramsay knows that's a pile of dog shit.
Oh my god. That's incredible.
And he's still praising it. I don't know. Maybe I make history by the honest cook that'll actually tell you what you fucking need to know. But again, you'd almost have to at some point, especially if you know what you're doing when you're cooking, intentionally sabotage yourself.
That pepperberry. Spicy.
Yeah, you can tell Gordon's reaching here. 'Cause it's not even fucking melted.
The acidity of that kimchi and that bread cooked in the open fire. Wow. I mean, it's so good. It almost makes me feel like I want to move to Tasmania.
Yeah, no. Alrighty. I did it at the end of the video. So. Good night, everybody. I got a lot more video games to list. Good night.